Hey there, I'm out in my garden today. I live in the middle of the city, so if you hear dogs and cars and airplanes coming by, it's just par for the course. Today I wanted to talk about something that's really, people talk about things that are in their wheelhouse. Mushrooms are in my wheelhouse. I spend a lot of time looking for mushrooms. I love growing mushrooms. I like eating mushrooms. I love just identifying them. And I was really excited today because we have two mushrooms that are important to me. Here's one of them. This looks like just a crazy blob, but I can assure you this is a reishi mushroom. Ganoderma, this is an Oregonese variety, which is the native variety to the Pacific Northwest. We're really lucky to have our own variety of reishi. Really kind of spoiled. I found this last year and it was already dried out really badly. I can't use this. You can see some of like the spore columns here. And I've just been looking at it for a while. It's really interesting. I found it on a piece of log that was in the middle of the road in the National Forest, the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest last fall. And it was, like I said, it was in the road, and I decided to save it just to see what happens with it. I really have enjoyed watching this mushroom go through its life cycles as it's already dead and off of the wood that it was helping to decay. Ganoderma as a medicine has a really long history. It's been used for about 2,000 years, and it's considered like one of the longevity mushrooms. It's very popular in traditional Chinese medicine. In the past, it was really difficult to find because you had to find it actually on a tree, and they really like pristine forests, or forests that haven't gone through too much turmoil. So now they're being grown on like beds of sawdust and other things to propagate, but the problem is they are not as potent or have as much of the natural constituents that a wild reishi does, like this one right here. Again, reishi is one of the mushrooms that has been used for the longest time, and it really has helps inhibit the growth of cancer cells. It's called an anti-proliferative. So if there are cancer cells, it actually stops them from growing and metastasizing into other larger cancer situations. It's very good for the respiratory system, for the liver. It's an immune booster and an antiviral. It can be used in Alzheimer's treatment and bronchitis. It does lower the blood pressure, which is good if you are a person who is struggling with higher blood pressure. If you're on blood pressure medication, you may want to consider not taking this, or at least taking it with the consultation of your doctor to make sure that you're not interfering with the medicine that you're on to lower your blood pressure. You don't want to lower it too much because that's just not a good thing. And the contraindications, it's not suggested to use during pregnancy, mostly because there haven't been a lot of tests done on it. I highly recommend reishi. Again, this is a really dried out version of it. In this jar, I found a fresh reishi in the Gifford-Pinchot last, I think it was November, and I dried it, and I also dried some fresh ginger and turmeric, and once they were dry, I completely ground them up into a powder. I call it my husband's immunity, haha, but it's a really incredible mixture of equal parts reishi, ground turmeric, and ground ginger. That's a really tasty tea as well. So there we go. Thank you. I also want to show you these logs. These are logs that have been inoculated with shiitake plugs. You can see in some of these little parts right here. You can buy these plugs that are kind of like short 1-inch long dowels that are inoculated with the spores of various mushrooms. Shiitake, maitake, lion's manes, these are the ones that are pretty common. This is a piece of oak, and back there I have 2 pieces of cottonwood, and we're trying out just to see which one works better. After you drill holes and put these plugs in, you seal them up with wax. Here's like beeswax and stuff that hopefully will help those spores find a good way to decay in that wood, and in a couple years we'll have some mushrooms out here. One more thing about my shiitake experiment over there. Shiitake is Lentius edodes, is the Latin name for this. Shiitake is an immune booster, reduces cholesterol, it's anti-aging, anti-tumor, and antiviral. And it's used in chemotherapy to help increase the results of the chemotherapy. So honestly, you really can't go wrong with either of these wonderful mushrooms, and I hope you find a way to get any of them in your life.